In 2020 alone, cybercrime cost over $10 billion in North America. With the rise of AI, there were over 236 million ransomware attacks globally in just the first half of 2022. So it comes as no surprise that the cybersecurity industry is set to grow to $376 billion annually by 2029. It's for this reason and more that a team of Fortune 100 executives have come together to create a company called Integrated Cyber Solutions to combat the growing demand for cybersecurity in North American businesses. In order to take a deeper dive into this company that just started trading on the CSE, I'd like to welcome their CEO, Alan Guibord. My good sir, welcome.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much for having me.
And excited to have you. Well, Alan, for those who may be hearing about your company for the first time, what is Integrated Cyber Solutions and what makes your company different from a lot of your competitors?
Well, thanks so much for asking me, and thanks for having me as well. This is a really exciting time for our company. I think the thing that differentiates us is a couple of things. One is our leadership team. We've put together, I think, the strongest leadership team in the cybersecurity industry. We have leaders from Fortune 100 companies right down to startups. So we have a very eclectic group of people with a wide range of experience. We looked at the industry too as a result of that and said, because of our experience and our leadership team, we think the market needed a refocus. That right now, everyone in the market seems to be focused on the shiny objects, which is the technology side of the equation, when the real problems in the market are within the company. So we believe that we needed to create a balanced look at both sides of the equation to be able to adequately protect companies. So many people are just looking at all of the results from all the technology, and they're ignoring the fact that 85% of the issues that happen inside of a company come from within. So what we have done is we've created what we call our IC360 platform, which I'll be happy to get in with you later, that basically brings the two together. It takes the technology side and integrates all of the input and the activity into a data lake with an artificial intelligence algorithm. And on the other side, we have the human side, where we present everything to people from a humanistic perspective. But more importantly, we have a whole set of tools that focuses on the internal behavior of the company. This is an area that's so widely ignored by other companies. And so by having a focus on both sides, integrating all of the activity that's going out there and focusing on internal behavior and educating people on awareness and culture, we think it's a very unique model for the marketplace today. And also, too, our focus is in the SMB market. We're not going after the large enterprises, although a lot of us have worked with them, and we have consulted to them on their strategy. But we really feel that the SMB market is underserved and that we need to provide them with the same protection, if not better, as the big guys.
Yeah, and we're definitely going to dive into that. I appreciate for that introduction. We'll get a lot more into the IC 360 platform. But first, a business is only as good as the people behind it. Like you've already mentioned, you've assembled a world-class team of Fortune 100 executives that not only held executive positions in some of the largest businesses in the world, but who also specialize in startups as well. It's a really interesting combo there. Can you let investors know a bit more about the team that you put together here for Integrated Cyber?
Sure, it's really an eclectic team, but to your point, it's a really unique team because we've all been there in the large corporations and we've also done startups ourselves. And the biggest advantage that gives us is as the company grows, we don't need to swap out the management team for a new set of managers as we reach certain thresholds. That happens to a lot of these smaller companies, that they'll reach a threshold and the management team is incapable of bringing it to the next level. So we offer the capability to bring it all the way from the startup mode to the multi-hundreds of millions of dollars mode. Our team is made up of a bunch of people. Two from Hewlett-Packard. Our chief operating officer ran 2/3 of Hewlett-Packard's business, which was the entire services business. Our chief marketing officer came from Hewlett-Packard as well. Our chief financial officer is an independent accountant who's been working for 30 years. Building up a huge practice, and he's got a CPA firm that he's basically leaving to come and join us as a CFO. So we've really put together a really good top-notch, top-level team, and below us we're assembling a set of skilled individuals to fill the needs that we have over the long term.
Yeah, fantastic to hear. And it's something that you don't see often. Like you're saying that you're getting these executives where as you scale, you don't have to replace them. As you scale, you're talking to an executive that's done it at the highest level, but also at the most the beginning level as well, the creation of the actual company. So again, very, very intriguing. But what's also intriguing is the actual system that you're working with.
What
as
I was
well.
going to say, though, before we go further, though, that the other advantage that we have, too, is that we can go into a company and to tell these executives we understand their pain, and they can't deny it because we've been there. We're with a lot of these companies that are growing up from sort of MSPs that are used to fixing firewalls and fixing routers. They can't go into the upper management level and say that they understand their pain. That gives us a big advantage.
Yeah, I can imagine it does. And obviously another massive advantage that you have as well is your IC360 platform. I'd like to take a deeper dive into that now and the 3 core pillars of focus for your company. What is this platform and how you take it to market?
Well, as I said earlier, most all of the other cybersecurity companies have built their companies around a particular piece of software. And once that piece of software becomes disintermediated, then they need to go out and find a new one. We have one software supplier that we've been working with for a lot of years. They're on their 3rd set of software, and that causes disruptions all over the place. We also felt that the real need in cyber too is internally. About 80% or over 80% of the issues that happen in cyber are done from people doing the wrong things inside a corporation. So what we created was an integrated platform, thus our name, Integrated Cyber Solutions. On one side of the platform, we're able to plug and play any of the latest technologies that a client might want, customized to their particular needs. So it's not a one-size-fits-all. It allows us to go into each client and choose a set of tools that fit their particular needs. And as those tools become disintermediated, we can unplug them and plug a replacement in. We bring all of that data into one data lake, one integrated data lake. The issue that there is today is these people have all these tools out there, and they're all bringing them a bunch of information, but there's no real good way to integrate it all to find out, where the real issues lie. So with the data lake, we're able to sift through using our AI tools and our knowledge management tools. We're able to synthesize this information down to a manageable level that we can then co-manage with our clients. On the other side, the way that we do that is we call it the humanization of cyber. Everything that we do, we try to present it to our clients in a humanly understandable way. And that way there, we're not dealing with technology to the depths that people can't understand what's going on. To that end, we have a managed service called the Human Firewall, where we do a consistent vulnerability assessment, pen testing, training and awareness, consistently going on inside of these companies to help target the 85% of where the problem is. I believe we're the only one out there that has this sort of unique technology that allows us to, keep up with the technology on one side, but more importantly, deal with where the real issue is on the other side.
Yeah, and it's very interesting to try to figure out where that real issue is. I mean, look at Caesar's Entertainment. It's something that's very, very topical right now. They just had another ransom attack, and there's $15 million that they were charged there, plus the opportunity cost of having all of their systems shut down. When you're able to work with these companies, I can imagine part of that is obviously training with these individuals, because it was just a simple phone call that got it. Is that what you're able to work with? Are you able to help stop these types of ransom attacks that keep happening?
Yeah, we do. And like, for instance, in penetration testing, a lot of competitors do what they call generic penetration testing. They'll send out spoof emails around a corporation and hope people open them. We get much more specific. When it's near the end of the month, when people are trying to collect your vendors are trying to collect money, we send out specific ones to the AP department saying, please pay this invoice. When are you going to pay this invoice? And of course, as soon as they click on it, we've got them. So we really go after the human behavior side. We try to make it as synthesized or as customized as possible for each human situation. I forgot to mention as well that the target market for our services is the SMB. As we said before, the SMB marketplace has the same needs that the big guys do, but they don't have the capability to bring the talent in. So by targeting in that marketplace, it not only gives us the ability to bring them those services at a higher level, but it also opens up a whole huge market for us.
Yeah, and they need it as well. And that's what I'd like to talk about after this. Actually, it's a perfect segue, talking about the market in itself. What is the current market for cybersecurity, and what direction is that market heading towards?
Well, believe it or not, cybersecurity is still in its infancy stages. I know a lot of people, it's getting a lot of press right now, but it hasn't been around a lot of years. And so it's really an evolving market. And especially now with things coming out like AI and advanced knowledge management and all of these tools, it's really becoming a sort of a competitive game between the good guys and the bad guys. And the ante keeps getting upped on a daily basis. The issues that we're dealing with, though, in this market in the United States and North America is there's about 3.5 million unfilled jobs out there. And what we're seeing is, as I said before, not only is the skills be more and more specialized, but a lot of the younger people coming into the marketplace want to work for themselves. They don't want to work for a big corporation. So that's why we have created, as part of our model, a network of over 200 cybersecurity experts that we can bring in as the need arises, so that we can then give our customers the access to the skill sets that they really need. As I said before, 85% of the market is still in human error. And until we fix that problem, it's not going to go away. It's only going to get worse. So we feel our focus on that is rather unique, and that's really where the problem is. And in 2020, I think they recorded about $10 billion in crime costs in 2020. I would say that's what's been reported. I believe there's a lot more out there left that has not yet, that people are afraid to report. And I think it's a far bigger number than that. And I would say it's growing at a rate we've seen at a rate of almost 14% per year compounded. So it's going to get worse and worse. I hate to say this in a negative way, but the issues are going to get more and more difficult as time goes on, because both the bad guys and us are trying to raise the ante, as I said earlier.
Yeah, no, absolutely, and that's what, that's what creates the market as well. Because at the end of the day, we've spoken about some phenomenal management team that you brought in together. We've talked about the system as well, but it's also important to talk about the money side of things. A lot of investors are always curious about their investments. Is how do they make money? How does integrated cyber create revenue, and what does your overall financial and growth potential look like?
Sure, we've created a different model. We've created a model that is high variable and low fixed cost. Because of the fact that we have networks of experts that we can bring in as we need them, we're able to really keep our fixed costs down. So on top of that, our revenue model is 80% recurring revenue and 20% project-based. And the project-based usually leads us to more work that sort of feeds the recurring side. So our goal here, our two main goals really, is to keep fixed costs down and recurring revenue as high as possible. And it allows us to get into clients at a much lower point of entry because of our cost model. And again, because of that cost model, we can come down to the smaller markets. We can come down to a $50 million company and still make good margins. And we can also do it for a $1 or $2 billion company and make good margins. But the point that we're seeing here is, because cybersecurity is a trust factor, that the lower we can make the price of entry, and we call it land and expand. We'll get in there for, say, a $20,000 project. We'll discover a lot that's going on and then expand into other future services. So our growth plan and our revenue plan is sort of parallel. We are going to continue to develop our IC360 platform, and we will constantly be redeveloping that. We will also grow organically from within and continue to add to our staff, but we are also going out and looking at acquisitions. We want to be very aggressive about bringing in acquisitions for a number of reasons: for revenue, for client base, and also for expertise and leadership. And that keeps as I said, these financial models and the approach that we've taken gives us a much higher gross profit margin than most of our competitors.
Yeah, it's very good to know and good to hear as well. And part of what your answer was there was exactly what my last question is for you as well. Now that you are listed and everything is starting to go with your company here, what are those next few steps? What should investors be excited about in the coming weeks and months from your team?
Well, I think they should look for the new announcement of the next release of the IC360 platform. We're getting very, very aggressive in customer acquisition. We're also partnering with a lot of non-competitive companies that we can open up their client base to our clients. So you're going to see also us investing a lot more in marketing and industrial relations. So we're putting all of our marketing, all of our money where it's going to be the most effective for helping the company grow and increase its value. Our job is to keep margins high and also keep growth high.
Fantastic. Well, Alan, I appreciate so much for your time, and I look forward to speaking to you again in the near future here, because that means we've got another news release, another development to talk about with your company. So until then, my good man, thank you once again for your time.
Thank you so much. Appreciate it.